Hi, welcome back.
Hey, what's going on? Good.
I hope you like the season, because it's going to change.
Yeah, I just posted a video today too, so you guys are going to get two this week.
Gasp. Because we haven't been here.
Yeah, this is actually the second shoot of this one, because the other one we just ended up bantering too much, and we started talking about a different topic by the end of the video.
Yeah, so now we had a reshoot, so it's a lot closer and more really by the skin of our teeth on timing. So, this night's topic is going to be on the changing of the season as we go to what we call Autumn Tide, or the Autumn Equinox, or...
Amen. There you go.
That's the Sabbath. Bye.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kidding. Anyways, what's your experience with the Sabbath?
The start of fall.
Mm-hmm. Have you done any public rituals or gone to any public rituals? What was your experience? What have you noticed about the season or about the Sabbath that you would like to share?
I honestly haven't been to any Maven celebrations. I've hosted them though.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, we've had
a little
public,
different.
Yeah. Well, in the tradition that we practice, I've held public circle here. Well, no, not public. It's like by invitation.
Yeah.
For certain friends and stuff like that we've been really close to, and so we will invite them over for circle. Everybody's required to wear robes. If they don't, one's usually provided for them.
Mm-hmm. Also, they get a ritual etiquette prior to arrival.
Mm-hmm. Everyone has offerings. There's usually stuff that we do. Like we'll decorate the altars, according to the season. I can talk right.
So the altar decorated for the season. Back here, the altar cloth has more fall colors. It does have some green, some red. What would you call this color? Salmon?
I have no idea.
I'm going to call it salmon.
I think it's a dusty rose.
A dusty salmon.
Dusty salmon. The fish found on the floor.
And then also we do have grain of wheat. We have a cornucopia behind her. Squash, some nuts, offering of wine. And you may ask who she is. This is Demeter from the Greek pantheon. So when we do public circle, we tend to go a lot more Greek or Hellenic in the pantheons.
Yeah, it's fun. And one thing with this is that with her statue, she's painted. I actually found her at a used bookstore. So one day she was just sitting there. I was like, "Ooh, who's that?" And then I was like, "I need her." But I also have an Artemis statue that's the same way too, painted similar. But I've never seen them painted like that. So
I've only seen them that way in some of the Hellenic pagan groups that I'm in on Facebook, where a lot of the people have gotten the statues and painted them. A lot of the paint color and inspiration comes from a lot of the way that they've been able to regraph the statues. That is shown in a lot of documentaries that you can find online.
I love when they do that.
Me too. But getting back to the season, she is a goddess of the harvest. So at this time, there is wheat. She's also holding a shaft of wheat as well on the altar.
Shaft or sheaf?
It's a sheaf of wheat. I was thinking of the other offerings commonly associated with her, which is penis cakes.
True story.
Not gonna lie, my mind was in the gutter. Anyways, besides that, there's also a pig at her feet, which was also a sacred offering to her. So now, as the time of the wheel is turning... Oh, thank you. I'll move her wine forward. She got a red.
I love the colors of her robes.
Me too.
She got an ice cream cone too.
I think it's a torch. Ooh.
Yeah, she's not charged or blessed or anything. At least I don't think she is. But I just
She
got her
might
like
have
that. Yeah, and I was going to use her for some work and set up a shrine, but I never got around to it.
Mm-hmm. So for public workings, we would do like her Orphic hymn, and then we would act out the marriage of Persephone going down to the Underworld, because that's kind of how we would view the changing of the season if we're hosting a public ritual. But really the Sabbath, if we look at it, is when day and night are equal. Mm-hmm. The next time this happens would be at the spring equinox, springtide or Ostara. If you're in the southern hemisphere, that would be now.
Happy spring.
Happy spring as we go into fall. So, aside from it being day and night being equal, what are some offerings that you would give? Or incense, or things like that. What colors would you associate with the season?
Well, usually in the past we've given like the cornucopia of stuff. Apples, pomegranates. We couldn't find any pomegranates today. So weird.
I know. I went to the grocery store and I literally texted them on my way home. WTF. No pomegranates.
They'll probably be available Wednesday.
They probably will be. Usually it happens that way here.
Yeah. I'll give like pomegranates, offerings of walnuts. We'll give offerings of like mead, beer, wine.
I totally want to try giving bacon this year.
Technically, it could be because you were
Because
explaining it to me.
it was a common offering given to Demeter and Persephone. They would often sacrifice pigs and put them into pits. And then they would also give offerings of cakes and breads baked into phalluses. Such a fallacy. Sorry, I couldn't help it.
If you don't have any of those available, you could probably use an eclair.
Mm-hmm.
It is phallic shaped.
Everybody loves eclairs. Well, I think so. I love eclairs. Maybe not everybody does.
Yeah.
But aside from that, other things I would associate with the season, personally, I would say would be like deep burgundy colors, reds, maroons, oranges, and rusts.
Mm-hmm.
Things of the changing season. Deep browns as well. What about you?
Oh, purple like her robe has.
Mhm.
More oranges, stuff like that. But usually I'd put like a darker altar cloth like black.
Mm-hmm.
Fall foliage that's been dried up like we have back here.
Yeah, these are just like old. I don't even know what kind of leaves those are. They were crinkled because we live in the desert, so those are from the grocery store.
Yeah, sometimes when we go to the mountains, we'll grab some like branches of oak,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll dry the leaves, and then we'll use those for rituals to decorate the altar. And
Or acorn, or what is this down here?
wheat.
Wheat, beneath the wheat.
I think it's pronounced chokram. We talked about it in a
stalks.
previous video that we use for Strega ritual.
Mm-hmm.
At least I think we talked about that.
I think we have.
If we didn't talk about that, then don't pay attention to that. No,
Yeah.
just kidding.
Shh, move on. No, just kidding. Aside from that, you could give offerings of squash. I've seen other people give things like corn husk dolls at the time of season. I get it. Personally, to me, I kind of look at the season also as like a pagan Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it is.
That's might not be the right term, but that's kind of just how I look at it.
Well, I've seen a lot of people refer to it as pagan Thanksgiving because of the offering, right? The season, the symbolism behind the season, it being the final harvest.
You're giving thanks for all the things that have come.
Mm-hmm.
You're giving thanks for all the work that has been done. Whether it's your own work, the work of your family, the work of a loved one, or the work that you're going to pursue as it comes. It's celebrating all these efforts, celebrating the growth of the season, the growth of the earth, and harvesting all these things and reaping the rewards of them.
What he said.
It's also a time, too, when you think about change. Because if you think about it, it's the time when the earth dies, or goes to sleep, hibernation, the cycle of life continues. It's a time that every other animal and creature on earth has had to adapt around. They've had to grow and learn with the seasons. And so that's how we explain things with myth, looking at Demeter with Persephone going into the underworld, the world changing. It was a change that was forced on the world. She went weeping out into the world in search of her daughter, not knowing what had happened. Hecate guiding the way by night.
Depending on the story that you hear.
Mm-hmm. The one that I like, Hecate guiding the way by night, only to be led to find what really happened with Helios, and then working to bring her daughter back, and then the changing of the seasons, the continued marriage of her with Hades, her brother and son-in-law.
Complex relationships.
Yeah.
It's complicated.
Anyways, I know, right? It's like, I don't know. I love the mythology behind it. But looking at it as a symbol for life, it's kind of like you go through changes all the time and they're always going to be forced on you. It's how you adapt to the situation that really makes it.
Yeah.
Ooh, I sound like a hippie postcard. Just kidding.
Yeah, but definitely. It's a time of the year that you're going to let go of stuff too that no longer suits you. So that's a big thing. That's a hard part too.
Mm-hmm.
Spring cleaning, and then there's fall letting go.
And then seasonal depression comes after.
That's why there's so many holidays there.
I think so.
But how will we be celebrating this out?
Well, within our own tradition, we'll be celebrating our own harvest type ritual, which is called Autumn Tide, which you could read more about in Grimoire of the Thorn-Blooded Witch by Raven Grimassi. Shameless plug. But personally, if we were doing something more of a public ritual, of course, just because I want to say it that way, you would erect the temple. Takes me back to Buckland. Following that, I would say we would keep an altar set up in the center. Of course, we would have Demeter upon it. And there before her, we would have offerings aside from the cornucopia, the grain. We would look for other offerings appropriate to the season. Pomegranates, like Brian said. Aside from that, we would burn candles that were appropriate to the season. Beeswax would be amazing because the symbolism of harvesting the honey and basically just... I don't know how you make beeswax candles, so I'm not going to act like I do.
You dip them where you pour them.
Yeah. But how you get the wax.
You usually get it from the bees.
Okay, well, you get it from the bee's knees. And going into that, it's reaping something, again, that was worked and tilled with your hands. That would be a perfect and amazing offering. You could also give offerings that are orange or pumpkin-scented, pumpkin spices everywhere to work for the season.
Usually what I'll do is I'll bake bread. Or I'll bake like pumpkin cookies or something special for the Sabbath itself.
I'm looking forward to apple bread for the Sabbath. He makes a good apple bread.
Yeah, I developed a new apple bread recipe.
It's delicious. So we will also have that on the altar as well for the cakes and ale portion if you're following that type of format. Aside from that, we would act out the ritual drama of Persephone going to the Underworld. You could do this with candles, you could do this with doll, you could do this with story, dance, or physically acting it out. If
we were doing chaos magic, we could do it as musical chairs.
Oh my god, that would be so cool. I could totally see how that would work.
I could just see a group of chaos magicians doing that. That'd be fun, actually. Musical chairs.
That would be cool.
For the descent of the Underworld. Yeah.
What song would you use?
I don't know. I'll have to think of something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of those fun little side things. So.
Changes time.
Yeah. Well, I found that if you go into YouTube and you type in like fall music, autumn mood music, stuff like that, it brings up a whole playlist. And if you bring up like instrumental autumn music, it brings up some really interesting jazz music that's really good.
Oh. I like having that kind of music playing too in the house. Other things that you can have too, you can make an incense. You can make, I think something that you could do would be poppy, lavender, vervain mixed with cinnamon or maybe bergamot. Just a little bit.
And with the cinnamon too. It don't smell like cinnamon when you burn it. It's got a completely different scent.
You could also boil these in water. Careful again. Whatever you do, we're not responsible for.
You can also use one of those aroma diffusers. So just mix some oils in it and everything.
Or you can do a potpourri. I like potpourris. I also like that you could have some of the foliage brought in with it.
Yeah, potpourris are fun to make.
Aside from that, of course, appropriately colored altar cloths. And...
yeah, your standard, however you celebrate ritual, chanting, drumming, offerings, pouring of libations.
Letting go of things that no longer suit you, deleting your ex's number, things like that. Just kidding. It's weirdly therapeutic.
Yeah. Blocking your ex. Student loan people.
I was actually thinking about that because there was that book series called the Sweep series. And personally, my favorite season has always been the Autumn Equinox. But in this book series, it was the first book in it, and it's by Kate Tiernan. And they're celebrating the Autumn Equinox as a Sabbath in the book. And that's where the guy introduces himself as, or comes out of the broom closet to everybody at the school he's at. He invites them all to celebrate the Sabbath with him, but doesn't tell them it until they get there. So in the ritual, they're all doing a dance around the bonfire after they've been drinking, partying, having fun, things like that. Normal ritual attire. And as they're going around doing this dance, going winter shins, he's telling them, think about something that you want to be released of, and everybody let it go one at a time. So some people, I was thinking about it because it reminded me of when we've gone to like open rituals, or like even the chaos rituals and things like that. And the people in the book were saying things, I banished my stepmom, I banished homework, things like that. Like some stupid things. Other people that kind of grew more spiritually as the series went on, did things like, I banished fear, I banished my, like they did things like that just seemed to help them a lot more. And so just something like that to focus, meditate on, or even just go around and do the dance of inertions, releasing things and banishing it that way is really useful, if at the very least therapeutic for me.
So, but yeah, sounds like a good and a lot of stuff to do, depending on how much space you have.
Yeah.
But we are running low on time, so we're going to go ahead and let you guys get going.
Yep.
Don't forget to check us out on Instagram, Totem Broom,
Or
Lunar Boy 93,
or Anxious Witch Brand.
Check us out, and they'll be up here somewhere and everything like that.
Yeah. Other than that, if you want to share what you did for the Sabbath or what you plan to do, let us know in the comments below. And if you don't like it, I hope you enjoy your day and move on. Talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye guys, see you next time.